世界的に有名なヘッジファンドを辞め、まだインターネットが知られていない中、彼は自分の直感を信じアマゾンを立ち上げました。昨年フォーブス世界長者番付1位に輝き、宇宙開発事業や慈善活動にも力を入れているジェフ・ベゾス氏。そんな彼の成功のための3つのルールを紹介します。それではどうぞ。1、お金は生産評価に過ぎない。
Your stock is actually up 70% this year. So as a result of going up 70% this year, you have become the wealthiest man in the world. Is that a title that you really wanted or not? Is it a
I can
burden?
assure you I have never sought that title. And it was fine being the second wealthiest person in the world. That actually worked fine. It's not, it isn't a, I would say it's something people naturally are curious about. You know, it's a kind of an interesting curiosity, but it's not, the thing, I would much rather if they said like, you know, inventor Jeff Bezos or entrepreneur Jeff Bezos or, you know, father Jeff Bezos. Those kinds of things are much more meaningful to me. And it's an output measure. If you look at the financial success of Amazon and the stock, I own 16% of Amazon. Amazon's worth roughly $1 trillion. That means that what we have built over 20 years, we have built $840 billion of wealth for other people. And that's great. That's how it should be. You know, I believe so powerfully in the ability of entrepreneurial capitalism and free markets to solve so many of the world's problems. Not all of them, but so many of them.
2、後悔は行動しなかったことで生まれる。
You graduated as valedictorian. You decided to go to Princeton. How come you decided to go to Princeton?
Because I wanted to be a theoretical physicist. I changed my major very quickly to electrical engineering and computer
But you
science.
graduated summa cum laude,
I graduated summa cum laude,
Phi Beta Kappa,
Phi Beta Kappa.
and then you went into the highest calling of mankind, finance.
Yes. I went to New York City and I ended up working at a quantitative hedge fund run by a brilliant man named David Shaw, D.E. Shaw & Co. I learned so much from him. I used a lot of his ideas and principles on things like HR and recruiting and what kind of people to hire when I started.
It's a very, very good, well-known hedge fund, and you were a star there, as I understand. What propelled you to say, I'm quitting this, I'm going to start a company selling books over the internet, and I'm going to do it from Seattle? Where did that idea come from?
I came across the fact, so this is 1994, nobody has heard of the internet, very, very few people. And I came across the fact that the web, World Wide Web, was growing. And so I looked at that and I was like, there's gotta be, I should come up with a business idea and get, you know, on the internet and then let the internet grow around this and we can keep working on it. And so I made a list of products that I might sell online and I started force ranking them. And I picked books because books is super unusual in one respect, which is that there are more book items in the book category than there are items in any other category. There are 3 million different books active and in print around the world at any given time. So the founding idea of Amazon was to build universal selection of books. The biggest bookstores only had 150,000 titles. And so that's what I did, and I hired a small team, and we built the software. I moved to Seattle.
And when you told your parents you were going to quit D.E. Shaw, where you're successful, making presumably a fair amount of money, and you told your wife, Mackenzie, that you're going to move across the country, what did they all say?
They were immediately and reflexively supportive right after they asked the question, "What's the internet?"
Right.
And so no, but this is right. With your loved ones, you bet on them. You're not betting on the idea. You are betting on the person, and that was that. And it's one of those decisions I made with my heart and not my head. And I basically said, I don't want to regret. When I'm 80, now 90, I want to have minimized the number of regrets that I have in my life. And most of our regrets are acts of omission. They're things we didn't try. It's the path untraveled. Those are the things that haunt us.
And you were telling me that you had to go deliver the books to the post office yourself.
I don't still deliver to them, but I was doing that for years.
And I
was packing boxes on my hands and knees. In the first month, I was packing boxes on my hands and knees on the hard cement floors. And with somebody else standing next to me, kneeling next to me, we're packing. And I said, you know what we need? Knee pads. This is killing my knees. And this guy packing alongside me said, we need packing tables. And I was like, oh, that's the most brilliant idea I've ever heard. And the next day I went and bought packing tables and it like doubled our productivity.
3. 顧客と徹底的に向き合う。
Everything I've ever done has started small. Amazon started with a couple of people, and Amazon it literally was 10 people. Today it's 500,000 people, but it's hard to remember for you guys, but for me it's like yesterday I was driving the packages to the post office myself and hoping one day we could afford a forklift. And so for me, I've seen small things get big, and it's part of this day one mentality. I like treating things as if they're small. You know, Amazon, even though it is a large company, I want it to have the heart and spirit of a small one. All of my best decisions in business and in life have been made with heart, intuition, guts, not analysis. When you can make a decision with analysis, you should do so. But it turns out in life that your most important decisions are always made with instinct, intuition, taste, heart. And that's what we'll do with this Day One Foundation too. And the customer is going to be the child. This is so important because the secret sauce of Amazon, where there are several principles at Amazon, but the number one thing that has made us successful by far is obsessive, compulsive focus on the customer as opposed to obsession over the competitor. And I talk so often to other CEOs and some other CEOs and also founders and entrepreneurs. And I can tell that even though they're talking about customers, they're really focusing on competitors. And it is a huge advantage to any company if you can stay focused on your customer instead of your competitor. So then you have to identify who is your customer. So at the Washington Post, for example, is the customer the people who buy advertisements from us? No, the customer is the reader. And in the school, who are the customers? Is it the parents? Is it the teachers? No, it is the child. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to be obsessively, compulsively focused on the child. We're going to be scientific when we can be, and we're going to use heart and intuition when we need to.
When you use your intuition and make decisions, where is the intuition leading you now on your second headquarters?